I was not planning to go live today. I went live, well, not right now at least. I went live this morning and again this afternoon with an incredible guest. We were talking about a lot as it pertains to business, and man, it was really, really, really good conversation. I highly recommend going back and listening to it. It was about risk, and about having courage to really put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And it was such a good reminder for me. You know, we're looking at it through the business landscape, but I wanted to make it applicable. I actually have another channel where we purely talk business over there. And so I wanted to have us on the Christene Marie channel today too, because man, it's so important. The principles that we hold as it pertains to business and entrepreneurship and just approaching growth in general in the professional so often translate into the personal. And so I love blending those conversations where it's not just focusing on the intellectual, but also the emotional intelligence side of things. And also, you know, we talk about artificial intelligence on the show too. But all that to say, I wanted to hop on here tonight. I was driving and my darling was in the passenger seat and he was doing his live. He started going live every day. And he was talking with a group of folks, and one of the ladies was sharing about a business idea she had. And, you know, it was multi-variant and big dream, big concept. And she was feeling kind of stuck. And so I wasn't actually privy to everything that everyone in the group was saying. I joined on later, but I heard him giving her advice. And I got the gist of kind of what they were talking about. And it made me think around today's conversation of why should we stop waiting and why we should just go for it. And this is such an important conversation, y'all, because there are so many things that are on our hearts that have been there for years that have fallen dormant because of life circumstances, because of even health crises or physical immobilities that are preventing us from being able to get to that point where we think we can fulfill on that dream that's been there since we were kids. And as I was listening to him give her advice, I just had this thought. There's so many dreams, one, that are lying dormant. Two, there's so many, perhaps even big dreams that have so many tendrils to it where it's like, I don't even know where to start. And then third, there's other people doing aspects of what it is that we're thinking. So we've got a dream, but it's lying dormant. It's maybe even so big and so multivariant, it's hard to even put it into words and put it into a capsule and say, here's what I want to do. Here's my vision. Here's my dream. And then third, there's other people doing pieces of it. So what's the point? And I just wanted to talk about that tonight, y'all, because that dream is on your heart for a reason. And this isn't some big, go after your dreams. What this is more so an encouragement, because I felt encouraged listening to this conversation take place. I was encouraged across a couple levels of analysis. One, if we are consistently thinking, dreaming in consistent ways around a similar topic over and over and over again, it is literally going to drive us crazy if we don't actually take the time to get out what's inside us. And mentally, maybe it's just a cognitive dream, maybe it's something that feels like a passion, to get it out on paper and literally just start getting it out and start ideating on it. Just start adding to it as the thoughts come, because for so long as it's inside of us, it can kind of percolate and it can almost like drive us crazy a little bit. It's like, man, I feel passionate about this thing. And here's what's interesting. I have found that, so we're talking about a dream that's been dormant for so many years, a dream that has lots of tendrils, that it's actually kind of confusing and not contained because it's so multivariant. And then we're also talking about a dream that's currently being done to some extent by competitors or other folks in the market. And one of the best signs for me that I need to pursue something is when I'm seeing other people do the thing that I really care about and they're doing it poorly, and man, it makes me upset. For example, I've seen so many business owners taking advantage of other people in the branding and marketing space. It's not that I necessarily, I do like branding and marketing. It's fun for me. And it drives me crazy when I'm seeing it done unethically. You know, when people are taking advantage of each other and there's manipulation, that makes me mad, because there's a value associated with that dream. And also there's a deeper why there too. So our dreams, kind of looking at it from the spectrum of focusing on, if you're seeing someone else doing the thing that is constantly just kind of in the back of your mind, in your subconscious, and you're just like, man, I can't get rid of this idea or this thought or this vision of what could be, and you're seeing other people do it and it's pissing you off, pay attention. So often that's actually a sign for us. That's where we need to be spending time and energy. And it could just be time and energy on the weekends, cultivating it, maybe talking to other people about what they're doing, exploring the idea, but really pay attention to the things that make you mad, because so often therein lies something that you very well may be called to do. And then also, when it comes to your own pain point, what makes you mad that other people are doing, and then what also has been frustrating for you. If you get really annoyed at poor customer service, that could very well be a potential business to start, a potential maybe addition or service to your existing business. Maybe it's just a job. Like, you know what? I actually think I want to move into customer service because I love good relationships with people, and I love a good customer experience. I've had amazing conversations. She worked at USAA. Amazing conversation with someone at USAA, an amazing conversation with someone from United Airlines, like gotten to know people on the phone, and they're helping me. But man, I can tell when it's someone's passion, and that's what they're made to do. And so y'all, we were talking yesterday, one of the best conversations. His name's Michael Avatar. I actually was not live with him. The comments have been a little bit of a dangerous place recently in our chat. And so I did not want to bring him live because I really wanted to preserve the integrity of our conversation. I did upload it last night. So I talked with him in the afternoon and then uploaded it in the evening and was live with some folks in the chat. What he said, so Michael Avatar was born and could not breathe for 45 minutes. And he, in that process, got cerebral palsy. And he went on to become a Paralympic world record holder. And he said, he was talking to me about that time in his life where he just beat all the odds. He was the only one with his level of injury to even qualify ever for what he was. I think he was doing long jumping. And so one, it was the fact that he even qualified was huge. And then the fact that he won a world record. And what he talked about after was so fascinating. And that's what I want to talk about tonight on the other side of, okay, looking at competitors, seeing what other people are doing that just really get you going. Also the problem that you're facing. So often us finding the solution for the thing that has been driving us crazy is so often a sign, like maybe that's something that you're really created and uniquely cultivated to do based on your experience. But then this other aspect, what he said yesterday, just so good. It was such a good conversation. He said that once he got that world record, he got it, he now holds the title. All of a sudden, everything that he'd been working towards, living for, moving in that direction, all of a sudden he got it. And it's like, what now? And he had just like this sense of emptiness, this sense of, okay, what do I do with my life? What am I good at? What should I be spending my time doing? And what he started to do, which is just so brilliant, was he said, I'm going to choose one thing and I'm going to do it for 100 days. And in that process, I'm going to decide if I really like that one thing, if I'm good at it. Do I even have a talent? Do I have a spark and a passion for this thing? Because if I only try it for 5, 6, 7 times, I'm not really going to know. And as he was sharing, he said he went on and made 100 paintings. And then he went on to he made 100 movies. And then he went on to, what was the next one? Oh, he made 100 YouTube videos. And then I'm trying to remember the next one that he did, which was just it was so cool and so strange. But y'all, what he ended up, 100 podcasts. That's why he was on the show last night. Y'all, what's so cool is that in this process of being committed to expending energy and orienting, the word intention, when you look at the etymology of the word, in the Middle English during that time, the word intention had so much meaning to it. It meant every faculty of your body was effectively channeled in one direction. Like all of me, my mental faculties, physically, emotionally, every part of me is oriented and intended towards this outcome. And so when we think about, man, asking this question of, what do I do with my life? What am I good at? What am I called to do? Why am I here? If we are just sitting here pondering the meaning of life and we're not taking action and we're just sitting, that is like one of the most dangerous things we can do, because for so long as I'm sitting and looking at competitors and being like, man, that makes me mad, or I'm even looking at my own problem, I'm like, man, this is so frustrating, but I'm not taking action. Y'all, the observation of a problem is probably one of the most detrimental issues that we all face, because it forces us to sit on our laurels and just examine. I remember I was sitting with a group of very intelligent men a couple years ago, and they were waxing philosophy, and it got to the point where they were all just sitting there for so long that they were like, well, maybe we're like ants. And it just got so far down this path on a philosophical level that it was ending up towards a nihilistic even type of approach to life. Like, well, what's even the point? It was just, we went so far down this rabbit hole where now we're so far from action that it's like, okay, we actually have to go back all the way that we came from, all the way back there, to go find any kind of action we can take right here, right now, to make the world a better place, to actually improve and grow myself. And so the reason why I loved what Michael was saying yesterday was just doing something. And it's like, it reminded me of Dr. Jordan Peterson. And I know that I'm not following him much these days. I loved his book, 12 Rules for Life. I've heard that he's gone a little crazy. I don't know about that. But I will say that he has this mantra of just clean your room. If you're not sure what to do with your life, clean your room, because the external world is a reflection of your internal world. So if you're experiencing chaos all around you, if things feel like literally out of order and kind of chaotic, it's probably because internally we're feeling that way. And so there's something around bringing order to and structure internally, but then also committing ourselves to just one thing and just doing that every single day, or doing it for however that quantity is. I love 100. It doesn't have to be 100 days, but it could be 100 paintings. And now Michael is at this point where he's got, he's working up to 100 podcasts, but they keep building on each other. Now he sells his paintings on his website. He now can get speaking engagements through his website and book podcasts through his website. He's got the YouTube videos there. And he's moved from, I think that this is actually it. This is interesting. I didn't think about it from this perspective. Are we willing to be creators in our life, or are we just consumers? Do we sit and consume? Do we consume ideas and not actually take time to? This is what's so interesting. And this is where it gets me so excited. And I hope I can articulate this. If we are to truly create, it means that we actually need to eliminate the inputs of everyone and everything around us, like literally coming in and we're consuming that. We actually need to eliminate that, shut that off, so that something new can be born from within us. So intention, we were talking about that. The Latin root of intuition. So intention and intuition. Intuition, the Latin root of that is intuere, and that means to be taught from within. To be taught from within. That's where creation comes from. So if my internal world is chaotic, as represented in the external world, and I also am only ever consuming, man, I can't ever become a creator. And so if I want to be able to create something in accordance with a dream, with a calling, with why I'm here to begin with, and I want to actually be an individual person rather than just a mirror or phantom of everyone around me, I actually have to fundamentally cut off the consumption and thus create space for creation within. And it comes from within, because otherwise, if I'm being sourced from everything externally, I'm just going to create what everyone else has already made. And then thus I'm just replicating, not creating. I'm copying versus being the creator of my life and creator of something beautiful to add to. Are we adding to the world around us? Or are we merely like carbon dioxide, just like breathing in and breathing out exactly what everyone else is saying and doing and thinking and moving their action? So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I am actually going to a show tonight. I'm very, very excited. So I only have a few minutes left, but let me jump in here in the chat. Sajad, hello. Good to see you, Juan. Little Man, WD, Mesa, Minecraft, hello. Steve, I'm glad to see you. Joe Harvey, hello. Michael, Ray, hi. I'm glad you're back. Ryan, oh, Chuck Norris, what the heck? I was so sad to see that. Bobby, hello. Caesar, Zippy, poor Chuck. I know. I was so sad. Tracy, he lived a good life though. I think. I actually don't know much about him, but from what it sounds like is that he lived a good life. Nick, hello. JH, Brady, Happy Doctor. The Man in the Hat. You're trying. Oh. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm going to save that Man in the Hat. That just really was so encouraging. Thank you. Wow. It is funny. You know, we were talking earlier on the show with Angelique, Rob. It was such a good conversation. It was so, I hoped it was fine. I would be curious, Man in the Hat. I know you were there. I am wondering if it got too business. I mean, she went so down the rabbit hole and I loved it, but I just didn't want it to be too, I know that's so different than what we normally talk about. So I'd be curious your perspective, but I freaking loved that conversation. But she was talking about the willingness to experience discomfort. And so that tied just really beautifully into what Michael was saying, you know, try something new for 100 days. Y'all, I cold messaged on LinkedIn a couple folks in the trades. And I was like, hey, I just moved. I'm looking to kind of establish roots here. I would love to take you to lunch. And just get to know you. And I, you know, I've got a digital marketing business and, you know, would love to talk business with you and just build a relationship either way, you know, whether we work together, or it's just relationship building. I'd be really happy to get together. I like had a pit in my stomach the whole time. Ended up having the most amazing lunches and people said yes. And then it was cool because at the end of the lunch, the gentleman 2 times, he was like, we've actually been looking for a digital marketing company. Thank you so much for reaching out. And then I was leaving. He was like, hey, thank you again. I'm so glad that you reached out. And it was interesting because, oh my gosh, that like the thought of selling was horrifying. But I was like, you know, if I want to build relationships and yes, I do want to get business, but I want relationships more. And it was really encouraging, guys, when we are willing to put ourselves in the seat of discomfort. There's so much that happens internally. What Michael and I were talking about yesterday was during that 100-day process, yes, maybe we find the thing that we love. And yes, maybe we find the very, you know, like the magic, you know, the magic thing where it's like, oh, that's it. That's the spark. That's the thing that I just love. Even if we don't find it within that 100 days, what happens inside of us is so, so poignant. And I'm saying that because Man in the Hat, what you're saying about when I first started streaming, my gosh, that was so awkward and nobody joined. Like it was just me and this is now, gosh, I don't know what day. I started June 23rd. So 250 plus days of going live every day. And for the majority of them, nothing, crickets. And I was going live because I was changing. You know, it was for a deeper why than vanity metrics of views or likes. And guys, we have to have a deeper drive, a deeper why propelling us forward. And so this is where I love it's like concurrent parallel lines of move towards what you are excited about and also look earnestly for the thing that lights you up. So it's don't sit and wait for the thing that lights you up. Look earnestly for it, but do it in action. Do it in the seat of discomfort. Do it in putting yourself out there and being in rooms. I love, I really love going into new rooms. It's so uncomfortable for me. I hate going to an event where I don't know a single person. It's really awful. And it is, that's where it's like, all right, why am I here? And remembering the why. And even as I say that, it's like, okay, how much of my life is motivated, truly, truly motivated by what's in it for me versus how can I serve? How can I really show up and love well? So I just, man, I'm glad you said that, Man in the Hat, because I feel inspired by even just you saying that, so thank you. All right, coming back to the chat. T-Tan, Tay, this is a son. Okay. When it comes to taking risks, discomfort needs to be welcomed and accepted. Not all risk goes well. Yeah, I appreciate that, man in the hat. Oh, I love this. Josh says, getting comfy with the uncomfortable. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's so good. I'm just gonna put you on timeout, my friend. All right, y'all. I'm gonna hop off and go to a country concert. I'm so excited. But I just wanted to come on and share that, let's stop waiting. Let's stop waiting for the opportunity, the perfect moment. And really, man, it doesn't even have to be when we're talking about that dream with all the tendrils, just going after one tendril and not, I think for me, I grew up in such a black and white environment, so conservative and so Christian in terms of like, this is how you live and think, now go and exist in this box. And it was so small. And so as I've been getting out of the box, and it's not that I still believe so many beautiful and wonderful things from that environment, but it's no longer within a black and white dogmatic view. It has a lot more color because, man, when you allow nuance, when you allow for two different things to live, again, concurrently together, even though they might seem in opposition, man, I can be so passionate about going towards this vision of mine that I'm not even entirely certain about what it is, but I am also going to just take the next right action. So it's having this big grand vision, but then also being faithful in the here and now. And that's what I'm talking about. If you're black and white, it's either just be here in this present moment without any vision, or just only be vision oriented without being faithful in the now. So when you allow it allows for both, the duality. And so as we're looking and hopefully striving towards greatness, I asked my darling, I said, who do you want to be? And he said, I want to be great. And I didn't understand that at the time. But y'all, I think every single one of us has a great version of ourselves. It's not about being great for everybody else. It's about being great for you and me. Are we proud of the lives that we're living? Are we proud of the men and women that we're becoming? So with that, thank you all so much for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. I will be live at 9 a.m. Eastern. And we'll continue having good conversations. So with that, thank you all so much for joining. Happy Friday, March 20th. My gosh, guys, the year is already going by so fast. All right, I will talk.